Hi, and welcome to Stamp with Ginny. Today I'm going to share this fun fold card using the new color Bubble Bath and our stamp set Color and Contour. This card is quick and easy to make, and I think you'll enjoy this fun project. So let me set this aside and I'll show you how to get started. I'm going to start first with the sentiment, and I'm going to be using You're Absolutely Amazing here. I'm going to ink it up with the tuxedo and stamp it in the top left-hand corner. Once I have that done, I can ink up the beautiful flower image and tilt this a little bit because I want to kind of put this underneath it and stamp. There we go. Next, I'm going to add a little color to the image, and I'm going to bring in the two-step image here, and I'm going to ink that up, line it up, and stamp. And I just love this set. It's so forgiving and photopolymer, so you can see through it, and it's got this beautiful watercolor look to it, so the shading is already built in. I've got my stamping done, and so I'm going to bring in the inside panel and ink up my little speckle image and simply run it down the left hand side to add a little bit of color. I'm also going to run it down the right hand side here, just so there's a little pop of color on both sides when you open the card. Let's see, there we go. I've got that finished. I'm ready to add some color with my blends. I'm using my Stampin' Blends, my Lemon Lime Twists, and I've got both the dark and the light shade here. I'm going to start with the light shade and simply do some basic line work here with the leaves. I'm just kind of running the wide flare tip down, just adding some color, and then I'm going to bring in the dark, and I'm going to add a little more of detail with the dark simply by running it on all the line work and shading in some of that leaf that we've got. There we go. I've got my blends done, and I'm ready to move on to assembly. So for assembly, I'm going to bring in this basic black square, and I am going to simply adhere this on top. This is a fun fold, so I don't want to add a ton of depth because of the way it's opening. I've got that done, and then I'm going to bring in my card base. Now this card base is a fun fold, and it was simply scored at 2 3/4 inches on each side from the edge. I'm going to add my designer series paper onto each side, and you can decide whether or not you want the side I'm using or the beautiful polka dots on the back. I love the fact that this paper has got some fun images on it, and you can choose from 4 different patterns. I'm going to use the stripe image because I want a bold swoosh of color in this bubble bath. So I've got that done, and I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to add my signature panel right here in the center. Now, of course, if you would prefer, you can just set this aside and add it when you get ready to send. But I'm going to add that here today, and you can see how that bubble bath is just popping against that basic black. I'm going to use my bone folder and fold those 2 sides in, making a nice tight crease, and then I'm going to add my floral pattern right here in the center. Now I want my card to be able to open, so I want to make sure I don't adhere down on this right side. So I'm going to add a little adhesive on the left side of the front, and then I'm going to set that down so I know where to put my adhesive on this side here, and I'm going to add some adhesive like so by picking this up and then laying it right down on top equal. I've got my adhesive exactly where I want it on the left side, and when it opens there's no adhesive on the right. Now that I have that done, I'm going to bring in this beautiful lemon lime twist 1/8 inch ribbon. This ribbon is a lot of fun, and since it's a fine ribbon and it's got this beautiful stitched edge on it, I thought it would be perfect for this card. I'm going to make a nice little bow and bring the 2 sides in there. I'm going to use my paper snips to trim that off, and then I'm going to pick up a mini glue dot, simply by setting it on, pressing and lifting. And I'm going to place this little bow, let's see, right here at the bottom. And I can bring my paper snips back in and trim it as I desire now that I've got it on my card front. And that adds a little bit of texture, a pop of bold color, and I think that looks quite nice. So there you go, a fun fold card using the Color and Contour stamp set in our new color, Bubble Bath. Bubble Bath is part of our Subtles collection, and I think it'll be a fun color to add to your stamping collection. And of course, if you'd like any of these products, feel free to stop on my online store. You can get there from my blog, Stamp with Jini. Thanks for joining me.